and we're live on Instagram. Good morning, guys. It's Monday, 9:04 a.m. Today is March the 9th. So welcome, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I know a lot of people are a little bit freaked out about this coronavirus. So today I just want to talk a bit about, viruses in general, coronavirus, why you shouldn't be that scared about it, all this mass hysteria, and some things you can do. So first, we'll talk a bit about just viruses in general. There's all kinds of viruses that are going or that are running through this world every single day. They're not really alive in the sense of like a cell, but they sort of live inside cells and they're parasites, and a lot of them do nothing. And I think we don't even really know the extent of what their purpose is most times. From a larger picture, they may, as a race, making us stronger, helping our evolution. When people get these viruses, it kills like dead or weak cells, makes most of us stronger in the long run. So they have all these different roles that we're not even sure about. But with all this mass hysteria going on, there are certain things you can do. So one thing that I love to take is a few supplements. This one here, which is wild oregano oil, amazing for boosting the immune system. I've been doing a lot over the last couple of years to strengthen my immune system. So one thing, whenever I feel a cold coming on, or even just regularly, it's good to have the wild oregano oil. The other thing which is huge, and I've only been getting to the last few years, are mushroom products. So things like reishi spores. Reishi is like the king of mushrooms. It looks, actually, if you can see, like this reddish one there, been used in Asia for thousands of years. And these things, they're like adaptogens. The more you take them, they'll work on different things. They'll strengthen different parts of your body. They're very smart, and we share DNA with mushrooms. I think we're evolving together as all this stuff goes on. So this one here is a product from Paul Stamets. If you're not familiar with Paul Stamets, he's got some amazing podcasts. He's on Joe Rogan. This one's called Host Defense. So it's the one I've been using. It's got like 17 different mushrooms in it, from chaga, maitake, reishi, cordyceps, turkey tails, oyster mushrooms, lion's mane. Each one of them do something different, amadou, and some of these you can find in the forest, birch polypores, so a lot of them that grow wild. And they're just amazing for really boosting the immune system. So these are the three supplements that I'm taking right now. My kids, my wife, I'm telling people, just get on them. But don't be alarmed if you do get a fever, if you do get a little bit sick. Some of the numbers that are coming out right now, when it comes to how many people are actually dying of this thing, there's really not enough information. They don't really know what the exact numbers are. Some places it's around 2%, some places it's lower. And, some of the things they're not taking into consideration is how many people are not reporting that they have it, that have a fever. They're actually saying, do not go into like a hospital if you think you have coronavirus, because you could get everyone else sick. And for most people, after a week or two, you're going to be fine. If you have a compromised immune system, those are the people who are, succumbing to these illnesses. But otherwise, you're going to be okay. You might have a headache, chills, fever, all that kind of fun stuff. But if that does happen to you, you should just think about getting yourself stronger, allowing this thing to sort of interact with your body. Your body's going to react. It's going to fight it off, and you're going to become stronger because of it. So a couple other things that we can chat about. Oh, looks like I'm getting some flashes of strobe light going on here. Oh, it's not good. Let me just shut this off. 1 sec, guys. Yeah, shut off that strobe light. So some things you can do to help boost your immune system. So now these are like lifestyle stuff that are really important. So number one is stress. So most people are overstressed, and I know this is not the easiest one to deal with. But when you're in a constant state of stress, your immune system is always going to be a little bit lower. So things you can do to reduce stress is things like floating, meditation, just taking some time to just focus on your breathing. The simplest one that I'll just share with you now is just really trying to focus on breathing in through your nose and exhaling slowly through your mouth. Just take a deep breath in and then exhale. And as you slow down your exhale, your body starts to relax. So when you breathe in through your nose, it activates your parasympathetic nervous system. So just relaxing is number one, and trying to reduce the amount of stress in your life is just overall going to help you live longer and reduce and improve your immune system. And that goes hand in hand with sleep. Usually when you're not stressed, you're going to sleep a bit better as well. So yeah, so talking a bit more about what else you can do for strengthening the immune system. So things like not having too much sugar and carbs. It's another huge one. When you have too much sugar and too much carbs, it affects your body's ability to use vitamin C properly. It feeds viruses and bacteria as well. So many other things. So reducing your sugar intake is number one. We're not gonna get too much into the science here. So when there's a lot of sugar, it really affects the way your white blood cells can destroy viruses and bacteria. The other thing to increase your white blood cell count is having cold exposure. So doing things like ice baths, getting out into nature, really having those little bits of hormetic stress, a little bit of stress that's good for the body is super important as well. I wouldn't go like if you're feeling sick, going to cold exposure right now, but maybe just slowly, cool showers, working your way up. It's going to slowly build your immune system. Again, we talked about sleep a little bit, and really getting that really good sleep allows your brain to detox. So in the later parts of your sleep cycle, it's when there's like a lymphatic system in your brain, which really cleans out the brain and helps you to optimize. Drinking good water. So a lot of water has like fluoride, chlorine in it. So drinking like clean spring water is really, really important for your immune system, and drinking enough of it. A lot of tap water has all kinds of heavy metals in it, arsenic, fluoride, you name it. So getting a good water purification system. The Berkeys are pretty good. There's a lot of them on the market. Again, I just mentioned this briefly, but getting outside, a lot of the indoor air quality, especially this time of year, is super stressing on the immune system. So just getting fresh air, getting the sunlight, getting your bare feet on the ground will really help to boost your immune system. So even you can take a vitamin D supplementation in the wintertime is also good. And then like just some general, like don't like wash your hands all the time. Eat like things like citrus products or garlic and onions and stuff like that is really good. Ginger is also really good as well. So as I'm speaking, any of these things that stand out, you have some in your fridge, just make something really quick. Spirulina is good. Someone's asking, what about spirulina? It's really good. And chlorella are also good things. Everyone's different. All of these things will work to support the immune system. So I'd say, if it resonates with you, I would add it to your regimen. And really check into the way you're feeling. Like when you're taking these supplements, do you find you're getting sick more? Do you find you're not getting sick as much? Talked about sleep. Talked about getting some movement. So this is also important. So when we're stagnant all the time, our bodies are not detoxing properly. So things like rebounders, things like jumping up and down, things like jogging, getting a good sweat on, going in the sauna. Saunas are amazing for cardiovascular health, for the immune system. When you go in a really hot sauna, I'm not talking about like an infrared sauna, I'm talking like a Finnish sauna. When it gets over 175 degrees, it puts you into this really heat shock protein creation. So, and that will really help to improve or increase your immune system, your longevity, and it also helps to drain out a lot of the toxins in your body. So really, really important. Other ways you can do that is with those full body compression suits, or just really moving, shaking, jumping around, just getting some movement, and it also helps to relieve stress. So that's really important. Other than that, like there's a lot of little things you can do, but I think I'm getting to the point. Is there certain things you can take to help support the immune system? Getting outside, being healthy, moving, and not worrying too much. The big things, all this craziness going on, is not to worry. Don't freak out. The more stress you have, the lower your immune system is going to be. And a lot of the times we worry about all these potential scenarios, end of the world, the stock market's going to crash, blah, blah, blah. And most of the time, it never happens that bad. The media is really good at scaring us. So I'd shut off the news. The news will make you sick more than it'll help you. And just don't worry too much. When things happen, we're going to react to it. That's where we have the choice. We can choose how we respond to things that happen, but we don't have to start worrying about what if this happens, what if that happens. So when we worry too much and think too much, it stresses us out and that lowers our immune system. So I don't know if it's done on purpose or not. There's a lot of conspiracy theories right now with this coronavirus. Like people created it, like Bill Gates, they made this movie Pandemic just to prepare, and now they want to vaccinate everyone and 5G. I try not to focus my energy on all that, but if you read it, it's a rabbit hole you're going to fall down. And there's that book that came in the 80s. It talks about Wuhan 400 and this virus that came out, and it pretty clearly talks exactly about what's going on right now in the 2020s. And then this 400 number, if you look in the media, it's coming up everywhere. They talk about 400, coronavirus 400. It's like they're almost trying to like program and brainwash. So, people are talking about that on the internet. I really buy into it 100%. No. Is there some truth to it? It's possible, but can't really affect me. It can only put me into more of a fear state. So I try to just say, hey, I'm going to keep myself as strong as possible, keep my mind in a great place. And I know this shall pass as everything else. And the worst case scenario is you might get sick for a little while. Some people will die who have compromised immune systems and that are older. But death is a part of life. And, part of really just evolving as a human being is when you start accepting your death, that we are all going to die one day. So not to worry or fear about it. That when it does come, you embrace it and you move on to whatever's next. So no fear. So I'm going to move on from the coronavirus. If you guys have any questions, I am not an expert on corona. I'm not a virologist or anything like that. But if people are worried about like, is the stock market going to crash? It's actually better to buy now than to sell. You're supposed to sell at the top when things are at the all-time high, and when things are going down, it's when you invest more money in it. And a lot of people are worrying about this and panicking. The average consumer is selling off. A lot of the smart people are buying right now because it will balance out. This won't be here forever. It will pass, and it's just so much hysteria and hype over nothing. So on a side note, this weekend I went to the GEM show in Toronto, and happened to be the metaphysical show is right beside it. And the GEM show was it was okay. There were some cool vendors there, and I wanted to buy some stuff for our studio at Elemental, where we do floats and infrared saunas and cold and hot. So we help to really boost people's immune systems and lower their stress levels. So if you guys are in the Toronto area, come check us out. And I need to buy something for my brother. So I thought I was going to buy him a crystal. But what ended up happening was I bought him a flute a few months ago on Amazon, and it came in. It was, I think, made in a drier climate. It expanded, it cracked. He sent it back. He was a little bit upset. And I didn't find him a crystal or anything like that I could buy him. He's a new house. I wanted to buy him a piece. But as I walked in the metaphysical show, which was like 4:45 as it was closing, I get blown away by this sound. And it was a guy playing a flute. And I was like, wow. So it drew me right over. And I ended up like buying a flute from him. So I never played a flute until 3 or 4 days ago. So I bought 2 flutes, one for my brother. Then I had to buy one for myself because if he starts playing it, then I'm going to want to play one as well. So I ended up buying 2 flutes, and it just blew me away. And then the way he gifted it to me was so amazing. So I'll just do a little demo with this flute if you guys are curious to hear. They're just such a beautiful instrument. I remember the first time hearing a flute, a native flute live. I was in an ayahuasca ceremony. It just blew me away. So I'll give it a little try here. So this is it. It's handcrafted. This is made out in BC. I don't even know if there's a specific name for it. But the guy who sold it to me was an awesome guy. So let's see if you guys can hear this. Good. All right. So then he's like, after I buy it, he said, from my left hand, from my heart, to your left hand, to your heart, I give you this flute. Play it from your heart, sit your back up against a tree, and play to the forests, to all that's alive in there, to the animals, to nature, to Mother Earth. Play for the world, and play from your heart. And he gave it to me. And as he gave it to me, I got like all these goosebumps and shivers. So now I have to go to the forest and play this flute. But it's just an amazing instrument, super easy to play, sounds incredible. And when you play like instruments that are, easy, any instrument, once you sort of lose yourself into that flow, it's almost like a really deep meditation. You feel amazing after, you feel elated, you almost feel like you're high. So I'd really recommend finding an instrument that resonates with you and going for it. So I'll go one more time here. I don't even know if I'm holding this right. And if there's anyone out there that knows any flute lessons or any cool videos online about how to learn these kind of flutes or even what it's called, please let me know. And I'll see you guys next Monday. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Love you guys. Have an awesome week. Peace. Oh, and thanks for tuning in to the podcast, guys. All of those who have been watching. We got 4 episodes up now. Every Wednesday, we drop a new episode. We got some awesome guests. Thanks for all the likes, subscribes, follows, comments. I really appreciate it. And yeah, just tune in. We got some more awesome guests coming out in the next few weeks. Every Wednesday, Elemental Awakening is a YouTube channel, and we're on Apple, iTunes, and stuff like that. Brian's got a question here. Do you meditate? Yeah, I meditate every day in the morning for about 30 minutes or so. I trained initially TM, and then I took the Ziva meditation course, and there's actually a podcast about that on with Emily Fletcher, the founder of Ziva. It's a great podcast about meditation. So yeah, meditation is also super important for your immune system as well. Trying to see if there's any questions here on the Instagram live. What do you think about spirulina? I answered that one. I'm single. Is there any suggestions? Sorry. I have 6 kids. Any advice? Yeah, don't worry too much about kids with the hi Clarissa. Don't worry too much about kids with coronavirus. Apparently, it doesn't really affect kids. But always just things to boost the immune system of kids. You know, the right supplements, mushroom supplements I give to my kids is really important. Allowing them to get outside and get dirty and get sick is good. That builds your immune system. And I think the reason why kids don't get this because coronavirus, different strains have been going around like the common flu. So a lot of people have been feeling it, and or the kids have gotten it, their immune system's a bit stronger. So no fear, guys. Don't worry about it. Everything's gonna be fine. And I'll see you guys next week. Peace.